We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to the March 26, 2018 meeting for the Shawnee County Board of Commissioners. My name is Kevin Cook. I currently serve as the chair this year. Joining me today is Commissioner Shelley Bueller. Good morning.
Good morning.
And Commissioner Bob Archer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, if we could start with our first item.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
There are 6 items on the consent agenda. Just as a side note, there is the recertification from the Planning Department for our flood certification. This is just an annual renewal, but just noting that it is on our consent agenda. Are there any questions regarding it?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion made to approve by Commissioner Archer, seconded by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
The vouchers are totaling $1,326,075.14. Of that, we have payroll, $530,335.90. Health Insurance Administration is $155,543.04. We also have Public Works, $110,123.93. And of note is the Solid Waste Department, which is not part of the general fund, $173,864.78. I do not have any questions. I move approval.
Motion made by approval by Commissioner Bueller.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval of the correction orders.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook for approval, seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Our next item.
Item B, Sheriff's Office, number 1, acknowledge receipt of correspondence from Sheriff Jones regarding the purchase of 27 Safariland ballistic body armor and vests at a cost of $30,050.73 from 2017 budgeted funds.
Morning, Commissioners. Captain Caleb Akery, Shawnee County Sheriff's Office. I would be happy to answer any questions you may have about this item.
Captain, do you want to kind of just walk us through a little bit on how for the 2017 versus the 2018 and kind of what process we go through?
Sure. These vests that we've replaced and were set to expire May of 2018, knowing that it takes 4 to 6 months to receive the vest. Each vest is custom measured for the officers. So we begin that process. So in December of 2017, we measured the officers that were due for replacement, encumbered the funds from the 2017 budget, and then once we receive the vest, we will make payment to Safariland at that point.
Okay. Any questions regarding this?
None. I'll move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Archer. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Our next item.
Item C, Counselor, number 1, consider approval of request to issue a request for qualifications for geotechnical consulting and testing services for the Kansas Expo Center renovation project.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jim Crowell, Shawnee County Counselor. It's nice to be back. As the item, this is a request to issue request for qualifications for geotechnical consulting on the Expo Center renovation project. Now that we've gone through the master planning process and we've narrowed down a few options on that, it's time to begin the geo-testing portion of that will guide HTK as they're doing their final designs for the project. As we discussed when we started this is one of the few items that we run directly through the county instead of through HTK, as it's generally preferable on a construction project to have the owner contract directly with the geo firms for liability purposes.
I know that on the last page of the memorandum there is outlined the different spots that we're looking at doing the testing from. How many sites or how many samples are we looking at?
I'm going to defer to Chuck on that.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chuck Smith, HTK Architects. So that's after our last discussion with the options that have narrowed, the options that for those sites are also narrowing. The way the RFQ is set up, we would be basically selecting on qualifications and have a number of these different locations that we would specifically request for borings and testing and reporting on. So out of all those locations on that diagram, we will likely, once we get in contract, narrow that down closer to option 4.
Okay. And then are we able to use any of the historical data from the prior renovations or the construction of the Expo Center to compare that with geotechnical borings that may have been done previously?
And that is absolutely correct. We actually, right out the gate, will ask them to evaluate that historical information to help guide us while they're continuing what their actual boring specifically for this project. So, absolutely. And it should help actually give us a broader spectrum of what to expect and where to bore.
Any other questions? Commissioner Archer?
Do we have an estimate of the cost that will be encumbered this process?
I do not have a specific estimate, but we have a line item in our master plan for geotechnical services, and I do not recall what that is off the top of my head. But that actually included both the testing, reporting, and recommendations, as well as construction services, so it's a fairly large number.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other questions?
Any questions?
I'll move approval to issue a request for qualifications.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you, and Commissioner, I'll get you that estimate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item.
Item D, District Court, number 1, consider approval of request to purchase new office furniture under a state contract from BA Designs for the Division 11 Chambers and Administrative Support Area at a cost of $10,346.40 using fiscal year 2018 appropriations.
Good morning, Charles Heidovitz, District Court. As part of our ongoing court revitalization project, we're going to be renovating and upgrading the furniture in that chamber, and so we're asking you to approve this from our 2018 funds. It has been planned, and just hope to move forward accordingly.
Any questions regarding the request?
Just, will this replace all the furniture in that courtroom then?
Not all of the furniture, and this is just the chambers area.
Just the
We're going to keep the conference table, conference chairs, but supposedly the desk area for both the administrative assistant, the judge, and that kind of furnishings.
Okay, thank you.
I'll move to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Archer,
Second.
second by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next item.
Item E, Public Works Solid Waste. Number 1, consider approval of request to award bid to Claver Construction Company, Inc. for the bridge replacement project on Northwest Dundee Lane over the Breakneck Branch of Half Day Creek, and authorization and execution of contract C-106-2018 for same in an amount of $222,978.50 from the Special Bridge Fund.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tom Blanc with Public Works and Solid Waste. Before I begin, I do want to make one clarification on the agenda. I put the cost at $222,978.50. That was actually the engineer's estimate. The amount of the bid was $195,639.43. So that is what we're requesting, will be that amount. But anyway, as mentioned in the memo, we did take bids for the replacement of this culvert. Give people an idea of where this is. It's up near the Hunters Ridge area at Northwest 46th and Highway 75. It's about a quarter of a mile or so, half mile south of 46th Street to the east of Highway 75. So, but anyway, we did take bids, received 2 bids. Claver Construction was the low bidder at $195,639.43. We have worked with them in the past on projects of a similar nature, and they are a very reputable contractor. And we would recommend that they be awarded the bid, and the funding for this project will come from our Special Bridge Fund. So if there's any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Questions regarding this?
I'll move to approve the contract, noting for the record the change in the amount to $195,000.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Archer, second by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next item.
Item F, Health Department, number 1, consider approval of request to apply for the Kansas Department of Health and Environment's Aid to Local Grants in an amount of $987,367 for the state fiscal year 2019, and authorization and execution of contract C-107-2018 with the University of Kansas Center for Research, Inc., to allow the Health Department staff to enter required data into the data application and integration solution for early years system, and contract C-108-2018, a deputization memo of understanding with Grace Med as part of the Vaccine for Children's program.
Good morning, Commissioners. Linda Oakes from the Health Department. This is our large grant that we apply to the Kansas Department of Health and Environment every year. It's actually 7 grants in one, so I'm going to briefly go over each program and what the amount is that we will be asking for this year. So our total grant this year request is $987,367. Last year, our request was $1,070,638, and we were awarded $909,582. So I'll just run through each program, and then if you have any questions, feel free to interrupt me as I go or ask. We can discuss them at the end. First is child care licensing. This is our regulatory program that we license all child care centers, preschools, homes, summer day camps, drop-in programs, and after-school programs. And we actually have 403 licensed facilities in Shawnee County at this time. So we are requesting $167,342. Last year, we were awarded $146,181, and this money all goes towards salaries of the staff that do the licensing. Next is our chronic disease risk reduction program, and this is the program that we use evidence-based strategies to try to impact chronic disease. And so tobacco use, physical activity, and nutrition are the areas we work in. We're requesting $81,908. So our work plans this year for CDRR can include Tobacco 21, smoke-free multi-unit housing. The food system assessment was done last year, so now we are doing a farm and food policy task force. That's an initiative of Heartland Healthy Neighborhoods and is being led by the United Way. And then smoking cessation in pregnancy. And this grant, we've actually had increases every year for the past 5 years as we've added more work plans to this project. Next is our immunization action plan. This is some grant money that goes toward our Vaccine for Children program. This is a program that provides free vaccine for uninsured children and children with Medicaid and the Children's Health Insurance Program, or CHIP. Included in this part of the grant is the deputization memo. Only federally qualified health centers can vaccinate underinsured children with VFC vaccine, so they deputize us to do it. We don't see too many underinsured children anymore since vaccines are required under the Affordable Care Act, but we still see maybe 2 or 3 a year. This grant goes all towards salaries except for about $1,200 that we have for training. In 2017, we gave 8,615 VFC vaccines to children. And the allocation last year for this program was included in the maternal and child health. This year, we've taken it out and made it separate. We were awarded $36,949. And this is actually a set amount. They have a formula they use, so this is what we can apply for. And last year, we did get $71,000, about $72,000 for the WIC immunization collaboration, and that grant ended, so we won't get that money again this year. Maternal and child health. So this year, we've requested $427,979. The programs in maternal and child health include First Steps, which is a social work program working on home visiting with folks that are new parents, pregnant women, and families with small children who are at risk. Baby Basics, which is our new class for expectant families, and newborn home visits. And we do have another Baby Basics class coming up. It's going to be an evening class this time. Those classes were well attended last year, so if anyone is interested, they can call 251-5600 or look us up on Facebook. Also included in this part of the grant is the DAISY data agreement, and that is the Data Application Integration Solution for Early Years, or DAISY, and that is where everyone in the state puts their data in so we can get data about what we're doing in this program. This money all goes towards salaries also and fringe, and there is a 40% match, which we use indirects and supplies. So you might remember last year in this program, we did eliminate 2 positions, so it was 1.8 FTEs. We still have a vacant RN position. So if we do have another cut this year, I hope we have enough cushion this year that we can sustain it. And if we do get full funding, we'll be asking you to fill that position. Local preparedness. So local preparedness helps our community prepare for public health emergencies. We work very closely with Shawnee County Emergency Management. We also help residents prepare for individual emergencies and help them prepare on an individual level for any of those possible emergencies. Also in this program, we have the Medical Reserve Corps, which is our volunteer group. We have medical people who are ready to help us in case we need to have a surge in staff for an emergency. Last year, our award was $116,484. This year, we've requested $119,796. In this grant, 100%, the grant pays 100% for one EPCO specialist and 60% for the other. We have a vacant position in that program right now. Then we have our regional preparedness amount. We are part of the Northeast Kansas Regional Initiative, and it includes Atchison, Brown, Donovan, Jackson, Jefferson, Marshall, Nemaha, and Shawnee counties. So we serve as the fiscal agent for this initiative. We help these other health departments be prepared for emergencies. The funding does go towards equipment as well as training, and also the other 40% of the second EPCO specialist is paid out of this grant. And last is our state formula. This is money that the Kansas Department of Health and Environment gives each health department based on our population and our tax allocation that you give us. And so this year, the set amount is $120,834. That will pay for 80% of 2 of our RNs in the communicable disease program. I put the little measles thing up there. I'm hoping that keeps it away from us. So that is an overview of all the grants. I do have several staff members, experts to help, and also 2 accountants here in case you have any questions about the budget. So I'd be happy to answer any questions at this point.
Any questions regarding this?
No questions.
Commissioner Archer?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This is a good presentation. I'm glad you outlined the things that we do. These are all state grants that are given to us. Does the state ever ask for participants, effectiveness of our programs? Do we report back to the state, I guess, is the question I have.
We do report back to the state. All these grants have quarterly or semi-annual reports. We do report back on things like immunization rates for our clients, the outcomes from the Maternal and Child Health Program. Teresa, do you want to come up and talk about that? Because DAISY is really the big reporting, so I'm going to let Teresa talk about DAISY for a minute.
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher with the Health Department. As Linda mentioned, the contract we're asking for is for DAISY, and so DAISY is what we really dump all of our data into, and so we report on how many clients we see, the services that they received. It could be a developmental assessment we did on the child, any resources that we referred them to, things of that nature. And the state really requested, we came on board with DAISY a few years ago so that every county, they could compare apples to apples, if you will. Historically, prior to that, we were all kind of choosing what we reported on. It was really hard for the state to get a full grasp on the effectiveness of our services. And so DAISY has helped combine all that information so that they can see and compare counties easily.
Okay. Yeah, this is, I think it's important. We hear a lot about grants being given out, but we don't hear the back end, the accountability for results. And obviously, we are accountable for results under the grants that we get. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Bueller. for
Second.
approval, Seconded by Commissioner Archer. All in favor, say aye. All opposed, passes 3-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Our next item.
Item G, Parks and Recreation. Number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-109-2018 with Jim Martin as an unpaid advisor to Parks and Recreation, providing concepts for park facilities with reimbursement for actual out-of-pocket expenses incurred not to exceed $2,500 per calendar year.
Good morning, excuse me, good morning, Commissioners. Randy Luby with Parks and Recreation. This is a volunteer agreement between Jim Martin and our department. As you're aware, Jim Martin has over 35 years of experience in engineering and project management, areas both our department are lacking in, and we've used his services of knowledge over the last several years with reports, and he sits in on many of our committees. He also helps us with our specifications and RFPs, and we just want to reimburse him on any of his hard costs that he has regarding the supplies and materials that he uses. He has access to special software, and I think you've seen some of our presentations and the numbers he can compile, and that goes a long ways for the public to see them, and we just like to be able to reimburse him his supplies and material costs. Be happy to answer any questions.
This has been a great asset to the county and the planning department advisory as we move forward with the master plan, and so I know that his work is well appreciated, and so out-of-pocket expenses, I mean, I think as long as they're documented, this should be reimbursed for that. Commissioners, other thoughts, or Commissioner Archer?
Well, and I think Jim Martin's a huge asset also. The question I would have is we're going to reimburse for mileage and meals. Don't we have hundreds of volunteers that work for Parks and Rec during the year?
Yes, but they do not have a contract like this, and the mileage that they would be providing is different than, this would be more like if we sent Jim to Kansas City to attend a work class or something that he's volunteering there for, that we'd pay the mileage back, but he'd have to document it just like a regular employee does.
I guess I have a problem with singling out one volunteer for reimbursement of expenses where we don't do that with all of our volunteers. I think that could cause a problem. Maybe the counselor would have a thought on that, but
Commissioner Jim Krause, Shawnee County Counselor, I don't think that would cause a particular problem as some sort of expectation of benefits on other ones, since we're doing a specific contract with this individual. It was our recommendation when discussions of this item came forward that we go ahead and formalize it with a contract if we are going to be reimbursing out-of-pocket expenses, so that there would be transparency on the issue for the public, that's what we're doing.
Well, yeah, and I think this is an extraordinary volunteer doing extraordinary work presentation. I just hope it doesn't cause a problem with other volunteers as far as expectations of reimbursement. That's all, my only thought, Mr. Chair.
I think with each individual volunteer, it's a matter of what is the agreement, and I know that Parks and Recreation has specific volunteer programs and training programs and agreements, so whether there's an expectation created or not as to whether or not you're going to be reimbursed is the issue. Certainly, we wouldn't want to be representing that we are or we might if we're really not going to, so that the volunteers, and to be fair to them, know what they're getting into.
But this is also acting at the direction of Parks and Recreation or approved by Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, that's my understanding. The idea is there are very specific instances where they do projects where they really are leaning on his expertise as an engineer, and he is going out of pocket in situations, so they're trying to be fair to him in that situation as well.
Any other questions, Commissioner?
No.
Okay. I'll move approval of the contract.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Cook, second by Commissioner Bueller. All in favor, say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. Our next item.
Item G2, consider authorization and execution of contract C-110-2018 with Capital City Christian Church, or Christian Chamber of Commerce to conduct the Topeka Family Fun Fest on March 31st, 2018 in Garfield Park, with expenses offset by a special event fee and donation to the Shawnee County Parks and Recreation Foundation totaling $1,660.
Good morning, Commissioners. Will Pope here with Shawnee County Parks and Recreation. This event has run for several years in Shawnee County, first at Gage Park and more recently at Garfield Park. It follows a parade down Kansas Avenue into Garfield Park, and then they do a festival. And last year, they estimated attendance at just over 3,000 people. So if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Any questions regarding this?
I do not have any, thank you. I'll move approval.
Motion for approval by Commissioner Bueller. All second. Second by Commissioner Cook. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Passes 3-0. Thank you. Our next item.
Item 5, Administrative Communications.
If there are any department heads or members of the public that have any matters to bring to the commission, this is your opportunity.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kellen Seitz, Inspector of Venue Management at the Kansas Expo Center. I have a couple events to report on that we've finished up over the past 2 weeks. So Kansas Kids, we just finished up this weekend, actually yesterday. We were fortunate enough to have Governor Jeff Collier's presence out there to give a welcome speech to all the athletes and coaches and attendees. We had over 7,800 patrons throughout the weekend. Over 1,500 room nights counted for this event that took place in Shawnee County. So something we're very proud of. But the most important fact is that we have been awarded the bid for that event for the next 5 years to come. So big congratulations to Visit Topeka and our staff members on being able to secure that for the next 5 years. Also wanted to report on Capital City Carnage, which took place the weekend prior to that. In 2017, the attendance was right around 7,300 patrons. In 2018, we were able to increase attendance by over 1,000 patrons, increasing net revenues by upwards of 37%. So that's almost a $32,000 increase in net revenues versus last year. So something we're very proud of, and our team is well there for that event. Coming up this week, we have two great events. The FBLA exhibition event taking place inside Exhibition Hall will be Tuesday through Thursday, and then the United States Team Roping Championship, the USTRC for short, takes place Friday through Sunday, March 30th through April 1st. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other administrative communications? Commissioner Archer, anything?
I just wanted to congratulate KU for beating Duke and going to the Final Four. I think anytime Duke loses, most of the country smiles. That's it. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
I know I have a pretty die-hard Duke fan in my family, and he is not happy. I don't have anything.
On Saturday, we had a ribbon cutting or opening at Hillcrest Community Center, opening of new outdoor exercise equipment. Again, one more step towards this community health plan. It's right next to the community center, so if you're in the neighborhood, next time you go over to look at the East Topeka Learning Center, take a little bit of a jog and go over to the Hillcrest Community Center and take a look. It's some really neat equipment, open to the public, available to use. So, I don't have anything additional. Our next item.
Item 6, Executive Session.
There is not a need for an executive session today, so we are adjourned.